My name is Matthew Houghton, and I love teaching. Teaching is a way of life for me. It's changed my life in many ways. The ability to swim with the fish, the ability to see species, the feeling of weightlessness is a kicker. Just the feeling of just being free. It's a feeling of being in another planet. It's like another world. There is no traffic, there is no people nagging on you. You actually get along with people better underwater. It becomes an experience that you take back that can't be duplicated, it can't be replaced. It's a bond, and that's what brings people together closer. And it's something that you take back with you, and it's an experience that nobody could ever know unless they experience it for themselves. The dive industry is one of the fastest growing industries out there, and scuba diving for me is a way of life. It's something that I could channel all my energy in and have a good time doing. When I'm up teaching, I'm in heaven. I've learned more or grown more as a person, as an individual, through the classes that I've taught, and I've enabled myself to help others and share the gift and the experience that I got to share my first time in diving. The classes I teach, it's not about just getting your certification and being pushed out the door. It's about a diving community. It's developing a family of divers. I've taught over probably close now to about 150, 160 different people. It's about getting them together. I invite my past students along that went through the class and already done to come out and dive with us. It's bringing people into the diving community and following up on them and keeping them interested and keeping the motivation and the drive going. That's what will truly make good avid divers. The hardest thing about diving is remembering all the stuff. You think, oh God, you know, what is this and what is this? And you look in the classroom, everybody's got their rigs like kind of half crooked, hanging off, hoses everywhere, BCs on backwards. And the only way you're going to get better at doing something is to do it over and over and over again, but doing it correctly, hands-on learning. And that's the way I teach. I put a lot of emphasis on equipment, physiology, how your body adapts to it, which leads us into dive planning, which is one of the most important things of diving. My strategy is to kind of walk people in through it slowly, build them up to the open water, get them excited, just ready to go. That way when they get to the point of open water diving, they are so excited they forget what they were scared about or afraid of. Allowing people to go from the pool, where it's a completely different environment, out in the open water where there's so much going on, and getting their steps down to where they don't forget to look at their gauge whenever they're diving, or to remember to, you know, inflate their BC on the surface, putting their snorkel in their mouth to conserve air. Just steps that they don't do in the first couple classes. But by the end of the class, it's been done so many times, they do it secondhand, don't even think about it. I've had students come in that couldn't even swim one lap, but by the time they leave the pool session, they've already swam 8 laps. My goal is to touch as many people as I possibly can and stick with it. It's opposed to just being scuba diving a sport. Scuba diving, it's a hobby that's rewarding. It's an experience of a lifetime that you'll never forget. The North Atlantic is one of the most nutrient-rich oceans in the world. Everywhere you go, you'll find a unique beauty. In New England, I happened to find a niche. It's a little bit colder diving, it's a little bit harder. If you learn to dive in New England, you can dive anywhere in the world. The marine life up here is amazing. It's so rich in color. Shore diving is great. There's tons of different places to dive around here. Many people ask me, huh, you dive in New England? Yeah, I do. I dive all over New England. Dive up in Gloucester, Rockport, out on the Cape, Newport, Jamestown, Providence. There's thousands of different dive spots all up and down the New England, up and down the East Coast. all the way down to New Jersey, New York, up into Maine. There's tons of different places you can go. There's tons of different places around the world. New England just happens to be one of the places that I enjoy to dive the most. Once you drop your head below the water, below the surface, into another world, the magic just casts itself upon you, and life becomes complete, in my eyes.